If you haven't seen the previous video in the series, make sure to click the link in the description below. And also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It helps out a ton. And if you have Instagram, make sure to search up my Instagram, Redneck Fanboy Productions YT. Anyway, enjoy the video. Hello, James Gunn. Long time no see. Now, how are you going to work on the Justice League movie? I know, I'm sorry that I uploaded the original how James Gunn would do the DCEU video. I'm sorry that leaked. I'm sorry, it won't happen again with this. And I know that I'm working backwards here. From going from Superman to the DCEU to the Justice League movie. I know I'm working backwards, kind of. But how you could do the Justice League right is more complicated than how you can do an entire universe. Because it's basically the same. The Justice League, right? You can't have the DCEU or the DCU without the Justice League. Well, I'm glad you asked. Alright, so you've already worked on the Suicide Squad. You've already worked on 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Well, you're currently working on Volume 3, but you've technically worked on 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And you've also worked on Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard good things from it. So, you're pretty familiar with teamwork in movies. It shows you know how to work around a team. You've got a brute strength character, a comic relief, which could also be the brute strength character. But usually it could be someone scrawny or muscular. The guy that always goes in guns blazing and asks questions later. The no-nonsense leader. The all-nonsense leader. The reluctant leader. The powerhouse. But then you've got the glue that holds them together. They could be a friend, or they could be a parental model. So you know how a team works. You know how they're supposed to work together. You know what their jobs are. You know what their roles are. So this could be your best movie out of all of them. A Justice League movie. Now, depending what tone you want it to be, a larger-than-life story, a cosmic story, a small, minuscule story, or a full-blown battle story. The tone needs to fit the characters, and the story, obviously story. The characters need to fit the story and the tone. It can't, however, be another Justice League origin story movie. Okay, so, before we get to the actual movie, before we get to the plot, let's get to the members of the team. Okay, so we can't have Ezra because he's been in jail far too many times, and plus, we can't have Barry Allen because the world needs to get over Barry Allen because of Ezra Miller. And we can't have Grant Gustin because he's retiring as a Flash, essentially, and we can't really recast him because, depending what another notorious thing the next Flash actor could do. So we're not going to cast anyone yet. So, who could we use? Okay, so let's think of it as Peter Parker, right? If Tom Holland, shot a baby or something, then the world might hate Peter Parker forever. So, we could recast Peter Parker, or we could bring in the new guy. Wally West. People love Wally West. Ever since the animated series, people loved Wally West. People still do. People even say he's better than Barry Allen. I even say he's better than Barry Allen because of that cool-ass suit. So, Wally West as a comic relief, as the new Flash. Anyways, moving on from that Flash Ezra Miller bullcrap rant, let's move on to Green Lantern. Hal Jordan is fucking mid. I'm sorry, but what does he actually do other than, make boxing gloves, make guns and that, make jets. What the fuck does he do? He has the most powerful thing in the galaxy, and he's supposed to be the most powerful person in the galaxy. So, what does he do other than make boxing gloves? What the fuck does he do? Nothing. He's boring. He's only been good when he was a bad guy, and nobody fucking liked Parallax. So that's why they had to retcon him and make it so that a bug went up to his mouth and, like, he turned evil. That's what they did. And people still didn't like that because Hal Jordan is fucking boring. Look, another green hand gesture, Hal. Look, is it interesting? It's more interesting than you, Hal. You fucking bland slate. How the fuck could you land Carol Ferris? Another lantern that nobody likes. Guy Garner. I mean, have you looked at this guy's haircut? At least he's more interesting than Hal, though. Which is, like, that's like comparing shit to diarrhea. They're both shit. The most interesting thing that I can think of that guy did, right, was get punched by Batman. Fucking Jack Black's cancelled Green Lantern movie was more interesting than that. And it was dog shit. It has him creating a penis, a giant penis and a giant Pikachu. And somehow that's better than these two. So the only two interesting lanterns that we can have is Jon Stewart and Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner was an artist. He made genius creations which were so badass. Like, he made a pirate ship with a spicy Latina MILF. But that's nowhere near as close as Jon Stewart, who made a fucking planet. Now, since we've also got Wally West, we could have exactly what the show has. Wally West and Jon Stewart. Or we could have what the comics has. Kyle Rayner and Wally West. Either way, I'm happy. Okay, so we know we're going to have the Trinity, but we don't know who we are going to have for our final two members. Alright, so we could have two of the founding members, Aquaman and Martian Manhunter. This lovely couple, Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Or we could have Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl. The best couple in comics, Green Arrow and Black Canary. Instead of Green Arrow, we could have Red Arrow. We could do exactly what they do in the New 52 universe. We could have, like, Cyborg and Shazam. Bit of an odd choice here, but we could have Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, who are so fucking gay. They're so fucking gay. They're so fucking gay. Fuck. Another weird choice. We could have Big Barda and Mr. Miracle. Another big couple. Other than Mr. Miracle, we could have another one of Darkseid's sons, Orion. He's more of a Darkseid son than Mr. Miracle, even though he was born on, even though he was raised a new god, he was born as, on, Apocalypse and that. He was, it's weird. I don't really know that much of him. But I do know that he's a badass. He's stone cold. He doesn't care about these, the Flash Museum and that. He just wants to, stick to the plan and that. Black Lightning. He's a member of the Outsiders, usually. He's a member of Batman's team, the Outsiders. Created by Batman after Batman left the Justice League, so that could be a plot point in the movie. Okay, so the JSA has Dr. Fate, but the Justice League has Zatanna, and she's also a Titans member. Now, if we have Cyborg in the team, maybe they could work together or something. Zatanna is also a Young Justice member, so she could work with anyone, really. She's sometimes a Justice Society of America character. She could work with anyone. She's a Batman love interest, she's a Nightwing love interest, she can work well with anyone. Two stretchy guys, Elongated Man and Plastic Man. Plastic Man came first, way before Mr. Fantastic, actually. So they're both comic reliefs, but I don't think they should be the main members. Same with Blue Beetle and Beast Gold. They could be in the film, but I don't think they should be main members. So out of all the members I've listed, out of all the lead members I've listed, I chose Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Wally West, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Zatanna, and Martian Manhunter. This team has everything that you need in a team. A strategist, a leader, a hard ass, the glue that holds them all together, the comic relief. anything, you name it. Okay, so now that we've assembled the team, now that we know how to make a team of superheroes, now we know what stories not to choose from, what stories should we choose? Okay, so it's important to know that this Justice League has been around for a long time now. It's probably got mentioned in the Blue Beetle movie. Barry Allen sacrificed himself, and it would be a bit weird to see Barry Allen not in the Justice League. Since Wally West has also been Kid Flash at this point, I think he should have been in the Teen Titans as well, so that way he could be more fleshed out as a character. So that way he can ask Batman questions like, how's Dick holding up? We could have Green Lantern off-world, Green Lantern Hal Jordan, because no one wants him because he's boring. People think he's boring. DC fans think he's boring. Maybe newcomers like Hal Jordan because they don't know who he is. But DC fans think he's fucking boring. And plus, if you're new to DC, right, then seeing people like Jon Stewart, right, seeing lesser known characters could introduce you to the wider world of DC. Aquaman could be off running his Kingdom of Atlantis, because I really wanted to include Aquaman in this movie, but I thought of what the fans would want, what you, James Gunn, would want to see in the DC. I chose Zatanna instead of Aquaman, so you could have more fun, doing a character. Maybe somewhere down the line we could see Aquaman in the Justice League returning. Same with Barry Allen and Hal Jordan, if you really want Hal Jordan back. So the Justice League are experienced at this point. And because of the Justice League being experienced, now Batman has time to work on his contingency plans. I think Tower of Babel introduced Batman's contingency plans to the Justice League. I think that was the first time it was shown that Batman had plans to take down each member of the Justice League. Batman has every plan to take out the Justice League. Every plan. Is Kryptonite not working? Oh, that's fine. Just use red sun energy. Aquaman really thirsty? Don't give him a drink. Plastic Man being a shape-shifty bastard? Just freeze him. If Hal Jordan's being boring as fuck, just paint the room yellow. So when Ra's al Ghul hacks into the Batcomputer and finds out all the JLA's weaknesses, then you know the world's fucked. The plan for a Justice League movie, well, the first Justice League movie, the first Justice League movie in recent years, Justice League Mortal, they had the exact same Tower of Babel story, but with Talia al Ghul and the manager of the Justice League, Maxwell Lord. Maxwell Lord was the manager of the Justice League for quite some time now, and he recently turned into a villain. Actually, not recently. Immediately after that Justice League arc was finished, Maxwell Lord turned into a bad guy, and people hated that. During Maxwell Lord's turn to villainy, he killed Ted Kord, the second Blue Beetle, and the scarab that Ted Kord used as a design for his Blue Beetle costume, there was an explosion, and the scarab landed on Jaime Reyes. That's how he became Blue Beetle. So that's that's only one good thing two good things that happened because of Maxwell Lord. But you want to know his goal in life. Maxwell Lord is a metahuman. Now the metahumans are the mutants from Marvel. Now, Maxwell Lord's power is manipulation. He can control people's minds, not by brainwashing them or mind controlling them. He was actually using this power for good, signing contracts and that. He used it to make people do stuff that they wouldn't want to. That sounds evil, but you used it for good. But then he turned into a villain. Maxwell Lord's villain goal was to kill all metahumans. or everyone with powers. Even though he was a fucking meta-human himself. Now, I think a better goal that could suit Maxwell Lord is he hates all humans, right? Make him hate all humans. Because he's a meta-human. They fear meta-humans. Because they're all powerful. You've got people that can create planets. You've got people that can destroy planets. That'll create a lot of fear in the world. You've got people that can turn evil. You've got clones of people you've got evil clones of people. The world of superheroes is terrifying for an average day citizen. And Maxwell Lord needs to have his goal be he has to kill all the weak humans. Because no matter what, they always fear them. His goal needs to be something that you can argue with. His goal needs to be reasonable. Now, with that goal, how do we fuse it with the Tower of Babel storyline? With Maxwell Lord, we need a massive double cross. We need everyone in the audience to be shocked that Maxwell Lord turned evil. There was another Tower of Babel story named Justice League Doom. The main villains of Justice League Doom were the Legion of Doom, led by Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage was a fascist dictator, terrorist, you name it. He was it. He was Genghis Khan, he was Hitler, he was every worst person known to man. But from what I've seen, he's only been the leader of the Legion of Doom in that one movie. The leader is traditionally Lex Luthor, who always works with someone behind a big team's back. And for this movie, I think he should work with Vandal Savage and Maxwell Lord. Because Vandal Savage also wants all of human life, the weakest of the weak, to get removed. Lex Luthor would do anything to make sure he lives. So what I'm pitching to you, Mr. Gunn, is essentially a Legion of Doom versus Justice League movie. With sprinkles of the Tower of Babel storyline. And I think the audience will just be happy with that. That's all we want. The Justice League working together as a cohesive team. And that's about it. We just want a Justice League story done right. We don't need an origin story because we can comprehend things existing before we can comprehend things existing before we see them on screen. We know that an apple exists, even though we haven't seen it get made or anything. We know that. We can know that we know their story, right? We know the Justice League. We know Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, all those great heroes. We know everyone. So we don't need an origin story. We just need the greatest heroes of all time on screen. Thanks for watching. So one of the many reasons why Lex Luthor teamed up with the Legion of Doom and Maxwell Lord was because he wanted to defeat Superman. And he wanted to live. And with Maxwell Lord's persuasion powers, he could finally get elected President of America. And now he's pissed that he hasn't defeated Superman yet. He's completed all of his goals in life, except defeating Superman. He hasn't got long left because he's got cancer from the kryptonite radiation. So what he does is pull out of one of his drawers a Kryptonian tracking beacon. Lex looks up into the sky and we cut to Brainiac's skull ship.